Elias Weiss Friedman. This dog will change your life. How dogs reshape our hearts, minds, and purpose. Elias Weiss Friedman took his first Dogist photo on October 23, 2013. More than one thing clicked that day. For a while, the author had been out of work and unsure about his next steps. He tried pre-med and marketing, but neither felt right. That's when he realized it's better to risk failure doing what you love. For Friedman, that meant dogs. Dogs, especially labs, were always a part of his family. As he grew older, he noticed the many ways dogs help people understand themselves, build relationships, and find purpose. Friedman saw this transformation again and again. Dogs change lives, helping us overcome depression and become better, truer versions of ourselves. In this Blink, we'll explore how this unique relationship began and how dogs managed to work such wonders. An extremely brief history lesson. Let's start by going back, way back, before any of us existed, before cities and supermarkets. Picture Earth 20,000 years ago, locked in the grip of an ice age. It's a cold, harsh world with glaciers sprawling over continents, drying out the air, lowering the seas, and forcing creatures, humans and animals alike, to fight daily for survival. In that world, a creature roamed alongside our ancestors, something close to the gray wolf we know today. But some of those wolves were different. They weren't the ones who snarled and got aggressive. These particular wolves were old enough and gentle enough to linger at the edges of human camps, hoping for scraps, hoping for warmth, hoping for a different life. Slowly, a quiet agreement formed. These wolves offered their senses, their keen noses, and sharp ears in exchange for food and shelter. They became our sentinels, our protectors, under the stars, and in that moment, the seeds of companionship were planted. Over time, these early wolves who entered the mutually beneficial agreement began to change. Their teeth grew shorter, their ears floppier, their faces rounder. Signs that humans found comforting. Signs of a gentleness we recognize as uniquely theirs. More importantly, they developed an uncanny ability to tune into our moods, reading our joy and fear with a look, a tilt of the head, a wag of the tail. This wasn't just taming, it was co-evolution, and it led to what we now call dogs. As humans spread across the world and settled into countless environments, so did our canine partners. Those first proto-dogs branched into the ancient breeds, like the Afghan Hound, the Akita, the Saluki, and the Chow Chow, forming the trunk of the canine family tree, each carrying within them a river of history tied to the humans who shaped them. Dogs reflected us because we bred them to reflect our needs and environments. Hunters on horseback needed swift hounds, while forest dwellers needed smaller dogs like beagles to keep pace on foot. Cold, coastal communities needed water-loving retrievers with oily coats and webbed feet. Over generations, humans and dogs shaped one another's destinies. Creating breeds for every imaginable purpose: guarding, pulling sleds, herding, or just companionship. As we moved into the modern era, the distinct personalities of each breed showed up as well. Terriers are feisty, retrievers laid back, shepherds loyal yet cautious. And research has even confirmed that people and their dogs often mirror each other's characteristics, a reflection of the bond we share. Above all, the dog-human bond is not just about companionship. It's a shared story of survival, adaptation, and deep mutual trust. From guarding our camps in the Ice Age to curling up beside us on the couch today, dogs have evolved with us. They are part of our history and our hearts, reminding us, every time we look into their eyes, of the ancient promise we made to each other, to walk through this world together, side by side. The transformative power of dogs. While dogs and humans have lived and changed together over the ages, the influence a dog can have on the life of an average modern person can still be profound and unexpected. The author has a friend named Jeff who decided he wanted a basset hound puppy named Gertie. Friedman gave Jeff a fair warning. Yes, bassets are adorable, but they are also a whole lifestyle commitment. With their droopy ears that are prone to infections, stubborn personalities, and relentless sniffing missions. Jeff knew the challenges, but wanted a dog that would enjoy long reading sessions on the couch with him, not hike mountains. The author was skeptical, but surprise, surprise, Gertie, with all her quirks, her UTI complications, medicinal eardrops, shedding, and stubbornness, anchored Jeff's life. She gave him structure, creating a morning routine of outdoor walks and encouraging him to be more present in his neighborhood. She became his speed brake on life, reminding him to slow down, get off his phone, savor the quiet moments, and even become more of an adult. Sure, she's stubborn and makes a scene when she loses her ball, but she's also a bad girl charmer who makes friends wherever she goes. Believe it or not, the author didn't have a dog of his own until, like a lot of people, he found himself drawn to a pet during the pandemic. That's right, the doggist was dogless for many years, but that changed when he met a foster dog named Elsa, a skinny, white, husky mix from Texas. The moment Elsa arrived, everything changed. She was nervous at first, but within minutes, she flopped over on her back, inviting belly rubs, a classic dog move. Then, one day, while staying at a house out in rural New York, Elsa bolted out the door. Friedman had to sprint after her, and during the chase, he realized just how much he cared about her. That moment turned him from foster to forever. Now, Friedman began to learn firsthand the power of the dog, how they change us, slow us down, structure our days, and open our hearts, how they deserve the same respect, patience, and loyalty they show us, how they teach us to show up, to care deeply, and to live in a way that honors the bond we share with them. Dogs aren't accessories or trends. They're family. And taking care of them, despite the mess they can make, is one of the ways we learn to take care of ourselves. In the sections that follow, we'll look at some more examples of how dogs perform this kind of magic. The silent language of dogs. Of all the posts Friedman has made as the doggist, Lunchbox was one of the most surprising. See, Lunchbox was the name of a lab pit bull he ran into in the West Village. He was a cute, light brown dog, but he had a couple of scars. Talking to the owner, Friedman learned he was a rescue from Texas who learned to trust and play again in Seattle and now found himself on the streets of New York City enjoying life again. Lunchbox had clearly had a past full of hardship, and his owner was open about the emotional work it took to accept that someone had likely hurt this sweet dog before they met. What surprised Friedman was how deeply the dog's story would connect with his audience. Lunchbox's video was played over 14 million times. There's something beautiful when a dog like that finds a loving home. It's a powerful story, but it's also a rewarding thing for a human to take on this challenge. When you adopt an older dog, you step into a story that's already in motion. You don't get a blank slate, you get a soul with a past, just like we all have. You have to open up, be accepting, patient, and consistent in your willingness to build a trusting relationship with your four-legged companion. In many ways, dogs are a mirror. Just like us, they carry their past with them and they react based on what's happened to them before. But they can also change and adapt when they're given the opportunity. Being part of that process is practically the definition of life changing. When you're in any kind of a relationship with a dog, you also learn ways of communication. You might see some videos of dogs clicking buttons in order to say things like, "Go out now." But dogs have always been able to communicate pretty clearly in their own way. When a dog puts her paw on your lap when you're watching TV, it sends the same message just as clearly. Learning all of your dog's many nonverbal cues is just another enriching part of the relationship. Not only does it increase your empathy, it's a lesson in emotional honesty. Dogs don't fake it. They're not vain, they're not manipulative, and they're not out to impress anyone. They feel love, hunger, curiosity, or joy, and they act on it directly. Whether that's a face lick, a wag of the tail, a tilt of the head, a paw on your leg, or a nudge at the door. In a world where people often hide behind ego, a dog's sincerity is refreshing. Dogs aren't just companions. They help us step outside our own stories and live with more openness, humor, and love. And if you let them, these dogs, like Lunchbox, Elsa, or even a trendy Sheepapoodle, just might change your life too. Making connections and building relationships. We've talked about the one-on-one relationship we have with dogs, but our furry friends can actually help us in our relationships with ourselves and other humans. One of the simplest but most powerful gifts dogs give us is the ritual of the walk. It's easy to overlook, but taking your dog out for a stroll is more than just an opportunity for your pup to sniff trees. It's a built-in reason to get outside, move your body, and clear your head. The University of Minnesota even found that dog owners have a lower risk of heart disease and death overall. And it's not magic. It's the simple reality that dogs get us off the couch. And there's something kind of beautiful about how dogs help us connect with other humans too. You may have noticed this. When you're out walking your dog and someone stops to say hello, your eyes are usually on the dog, not each other, making conversations feel natural and comfortable instead of awkward. Therapists even talk about the benefits of having a shared focus, like sitting on the same side of the table, to make conversations easier. Dogs do this for us effortlessly, taking the pressure off and making it easier to connect with others. Then there's the romantic side of things. When Friedman spoke to Lee D'Angelo, the founder of Dig, a dating app for dog lovers, they talked about how having a dog can shape the way you view potential partners. As D'Angelo explained, and the author can attest to, when you see someone in a caring relationship with a dog, it tells you something automatically. There's a baseline there. This person has the capacity for love. When Friedman got Elsa, his husky mix, it transformed his dating life. Right away, anyone he dated had to be compatible, not just with him, but with Elsa too. It's a shift from, can I love this person, to, can we build a life together that includes caring for this dog? That's a big shift. But it's one that made him see his friend Sam in a new light. Sam was someone he'd known since high school, but when she interacted with Elsa, Friedman found himself smitten. Now they're engaged and turning into a real family, one that includes Elsa as their dogter, of course. Yeah, that's a bad pun, but living with a dog is a great way of building some rudimentary parenting skills. More than that, they also teach kids about responsibility, empathy, and unconditional love while filling homes with energy and connection. Sure, a guinea pig is cute, but a dog will chase a frisbee as well as teach your kids how to handle big feelings. As the humorist Josh Billings put it, a dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than he loves himself. That's something everyone can benefit from. Healing and rescuing. If there's one amazing, or some might even say magical thing that dogs do, it's that they somehow have the ability to reconnect us with our humanity. Take the Puppies Behind Bars program, where prison inmates train service dogs for veterans and officers. It's a truly effective form of rehabilitation, as the dogs thaw the emotional frost of prison and teach the men to open their hearts again. One inmate described how raising a puppy helped him feel the paternal responsibility he missed with his own child while incarcerated. Through these dogs, the men rediscover how to love and be loved, preparing them to return to society with empathy and accountability rather than coldness. There are a lot of programs out there connecting people with the dogs they need to help them get by, like the Warrior Canine Connection, which matches veterans suffering from PTSD with service dogs. One vet who struggled with severe insomnia was able to finally get 6 straight hours of sleep after starting to work with a dog. That's how immediate the impact can be. Then there's Sandy, a veteran who hadn't left her house for over 2 years. She didn't think she deserved a service dog since she wasn't physically injured. But when she met Barb, a golden retriever, everything changed. Barb got Sandy back into the world and reconnecting with people. The dog had the innate ability to sense Sandy's tension and gently nudge her with kisses and paw taps whenever she tensed up. It's a fascinating thing to behold. There are, of course, rescue dogs who patrol disaster sites and save lives around the world every day, and guide dogs who can not only help blind people navigate busy streets, but also help them feel more alive and free and sociable again. But anyone can experience the kind of emotional rescue that dogs provide to people on a daily basis. This kind of rescuing has been perfected with what are known as facility dogs. These are the dogs who are trained to visit hospitals, schools, and nursing homes to spread their joy and magic. Friedman experienced this firsthand when he met Maggie, a newly trained facility dog who, on command, gave Friedman a hug. She slowly came up to him while he was kneeling down and put her front legs on his shoulders and gave him a warm, gentle hug. The glowing good vibes were undeniable. It's the kind of feeling that can melt away a week's worth of stress. It's a reminder that sometimes a dog's job is simply to be there to make people feel seen, safe, and loved. It's nearly effortless on their part, and yet so powerful. When we invite them in, they take us out of our heads and unhealthy patterns, and just by being themselves, they open us up and break the spell of anxiety and depression. They may seem like simple creatures, but ask any owner, one dog can indeed change your life. In this Blink to This Dog Will Change Your Life by Elias Weiss Friedman, you've learned that dogs aren't just cute companions. They're powerful catalysts for human growth, connection, and healing. Dogs help us understand who we really are by mirroring our identities and forcing us to confront what we value most. By living their lives with curiosity, purpose, and being focused on the here and now, dogs help us find our own sense of purpose in a world often overloaded with stress and expectation. They get us out of the house and teach us about relationships, trust, and the power of unconditional love, guiding us to build deeper, more authentic connections with others. Whether it's service dogs helping veterans with PTSD, therapy dogs supporting children with serious illnesses, or simply the everyday bond we share with our pets, dogs ground us in the present moment, pulling us away from distractions and back into the simplicity of shared joy, play, and empathy. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you in the next Blink.